Open houses no longer sell properties. That is the claim from a good friend of mine, actually, a real estate agent in downtown Toronto, Tom Storey. I saw this post and I'm going to explain and react to it right after I ask you to please subscribe to the channel. If you find any value in real estate information whatsoever, please hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single update. And please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. That is the best way to get this information out to other people that also want to know, do open houses really sell houses? Okay, so my initial thought in seeing this post on my good friend Tom's Instagram was that he is one of those lazy kid realtors. Tom is not a kid, but he's more than 10 years younger than me. And it's kind of this perception that millennials don't necessarily want to work as hard as the previous generation. I'm kind of a Generation Xer right in the middle. But I wanted to find out if there's actually something to this, so I didn't read it. All I read was the actual post, and there's a whole kind of thing that goes along with it. So let me pop into it here with you right now. This is the post from Tom. If you don't follow at the Storey team on Instagram, you should, specifically if you live in Toronto. Tom's an industry leader in, YouTube video, real estate agency type stuff like this, Toronto downtown guy. And his post says, open houses don't sell homes anymore. The last year has proven that private viewings sell homes. So I'm going to dive into this a little bit and read it word for word and tell you my thoughts, because I'm kind of stuck in the middle between those guys that, the old school of real estate and the new school of real estate. Tom is definitely a new school guy, and I am definitely firmly in the middle, trending towards old timer. So let me pop into it here again. We're going to read it line for line, and I'll tell you exactly what I think about it. So, open houses do not sell homes. This may stir the pot. At least you know that you're stirring the pot there, Tom. That's good. Open houses are great for realtors. We get free advertising on your street. That's actually true. I don't know if people really realize this, but the main purpose in the industry for an open house for realtors is to get more business. We're in the business of finding people that want to buy homes, and well, people that come to open houses usually want to buy homes. So Tom, I'm going to agree with you on that part. Let's get back into it here. We get free advertising on your street, which is true. We get to meet all of your neighbors. Not always a positive, but usually your neighbors are not going to buy your property. So again, I think you've got something there, Tom. But what's the benefit for the seller? I find most sellers ask for an open house because of the perception that it will help actually sell their home, because they can see the realtor working. Now, Tom, this is a great point. A lot of our clients, specifically, not so much our buyers, but our sellers, they don't actually see what it is we do every day, because a lot of it is back-end marketing, in office, talking to other people. The client themselves don't actually get to see what it is we're doing every single day in order to sell a house. So in their perception, can't blame them at all. Their perception is that we're doing nothing unless they're seeing us. That's why they say, stick a sign in the ground and the property sells. Trust me, that is not true. You don't really get to see all of those steps. But what Tom is pointing out here is that if the seller can't see those steps and is not sitting beside you for an 8-hour day watching all the steps you're doing in order to get the home sold, negotiated, showings, all that stuff, marketed, they want to see you doing something, and they think that something is sitting in their property with the door open, hoping that somebody walks in off of the street. Let's keep going here. But the reality is that most of the work that goes on into the selling process happens behind the scenes. Hey, what do you know? It's like I knew what you were going to say, Tom. Strategic pricing, staging, internet marketing, feedback, speaking with cooperating agents, and negotiations. Again, that is all the stuff that the seller does not see. If a property isn't selling, it's not because you aren't doing open houses every weekend. It's because you're priced too high. Well, This is going to be a controversial one, specifically if you're not in the industry. I agree with you here, Tom. Now, here's a pricing analogy that I use that most people don't like, but trust me, this is the best way to analyze price. Price is everything. In the event that you take the home, any home, let's say it's worth in today's market $500,000, and you price it for, I don't know, $10 million, you're going to sell none of those homes. Nobody is going to buy that home ever. No, oh, I might find the right buyer. Trust me, that home is never going to sell. However, if you price the home at $1, you're going to sell that home. Guaranteed. How many can I buy is the answer that most buyers are going to like, give me the home for $1. So really the only determining factor for any property is price and whether or not the buyer finds the value in that price. Even the worst dilapidated home, if it's priced right, will sell quickly because the buyer will see the value in doing the renovations and then be able to put value in, make more money, and make it worth more money in the future. So price is true. It is the only real determining factor in selling your home. Tom goes on to say, you know what sells homes? Private viewings. If someone is that interested in buying a house, they will call their agent and book a showing. Tom, I didn't want to agree with you here because I like doing open houses and I like meeting people. But yeah, that's true. The most serious buyers will for sure have their own agents already and they'll be getting specific advice. And they probably won't want to just walk into a random open house. They're probably going to want to go see that home with their agent and get proper advice. Open houses rank at the bottom of the list where buyers come from based on data by NAR. That is actually true. So let me explain my thoughts on an open house. I actually do think that open houses do sell homes, but not in the traditional sense. And I think that's what Tom is trying to point out here. The fact is that if someone is interested in your home, they're probably going to see it online. They're going to come and view the home in person. What sellers think is happening is someone may just stumble in off of the street, like going shopping for, I don't know, a new car or a new piece of clothes or at the mall or whatever. That's not what they're doing. They're coming on purpose. And if they are just, I don't know, at the coffee shop around the corner and they see your open house sign and they walk in, trust me, those people have almost zero interest. They're probably just nosy neighbors. They've just been looking at that building every day when they walk back and forth to get a coffee, and they're just interested to see what it looks like inside. Now, I don't agree with the statement that they don't sell homes at all. Let me point out how open houses may actually sell homes. If somebody stumbles into an open house or just sees that it's an open house and doesn't want to bother their agent, they may go check it out because they don't think it fits the bill. But if something does maybe tweak them, they might book a second showing with their agent and then come back. Again, what Tom talks about here, pointing out the private showing is still going to be the selling factor. I mean, I want to say what Tom is probably getting at is that we've had the busiest year of real estate ever this year, and we've had no open houses due to the virus, so that is something to consider. But here is the real way open houses sell houses. And Tom kind of pointed it out at the beginning of his little rant here. And yeah, it's a rant, Tom. The open house is a way to attract people in that are not that serious. Then if the agent themselves is skilled, they can offer their services, offer their sales techniques for that buyer to possibly see some other houses. Because let's face it, the chances are that somebody walks in, as Tom pointed out in NAR here, is not really the reality of how it's going to go down. They may walk in and say, oh, I don't know, it didn't have the right layout, or it didn't have as many beds or baths, or the price was too higher than I thought when I just saw the sign. But the agent then in the open house can say, hey, what about these ones down the street? Or what about this price? Or what about that price? So we do sell houses every single year. Well, not 2020 so much, but every single year through open houses, we do sell houses. But generally speaking, when we sell houses through open houses, what we've done is we've met a buyer at that property. We've taken them out and then actually sold them another property. Now, to play devil's advocate here, and for those kind of lazy millennial guys like Tom that want to, I'm kidding, Tom, I'm kidding. that don't want to do open houses, because let's face it, a lot of agents that get repeat and referral business, they don't want to go hold a house open on the weekend, waste their whole weekend for a house that's not actually going to sell due to that open house. But it does do a few things, having an open house, in particularly in a busy market. In our marketplace right now, Surrey, BC, we may have in a hot listing anywhere from 10 to 35 showings in a weekend. Well, if we can jam that all into a 2-hour period, it does a few things. One, it stops you, the seller, from having to be out all weekend long every 10 or 15 minutes for another showing and another showing and another showing. We're going to jam all those people in to one spot, well, 6 feet apart, if that's still a thing right now. But we're going to jam all those people into a 2-hour window, so you only maybe need to leave your house for 2.5 or 3 hours. The next thing it's going to do that is a good sales technique is it's going to show the buyers how many other interested parties are at that property at one given time. Because if you have private showings and they just, let's say we have over 10 hours, 10 different private showings, only 1 an hour, those buyers are not going to see all the other buyers that are interested. But if you have 20 showings in 10-minute increments over a 2 or 3 hour period, all of those buyers are going to start running into each other and seeing each other, and then they're going to realize how hot the property is, which is likely going to be beneficial for the seller when it comes down time to offers, and hopefully multiple offers, because it creates a bit of a frenzy. Because again, now just how the sellers couldn't see exactly what it is the agent was doing in order to sell their home, the buyer may not see how many interested parties are really interested in their reactions to that home. So having all those buyers there at the same time actually does help sell the home for more money if you do an open house. So does it sell homes in the traditional way that we think? Some, turn up truck comes around the corner and somebody walks in and just happens to say, yeah, I'll pay you too much money? No, it does not work that way. But are they still a good marketing tool? Yes, I believe they are, and I am happy that they're coming back. I don't know if everybody knows, but in my marketplace of Surrey, BC, in the Fraser Valley, open houses effective in July are back, and we will start doing them when the listings come on. But right now we're having a bit of another listing inventory shortage, but that's probably an idea for another video. Thank you so much for watching. Tom, I hope you don't hate me for reviewing your post and your rant. I think you young kids should get out there and do more open houses and work more for your sellers. But I also agree with you completely. Again, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in a couple of days.